Good morning, Mr.
Buenos
Castillo.
días, señor Castillo. Buenos días.
Buenos días.
You're charged, you've got two very serious charges. Your first charge is burglar of a habitation. Your next charge is interference with the emergency request for assistance. The case that you are in front of me on here is the
Two serious charges here: burglary and interference with emergency assistance. The interference charge is huge. Using a radio jamming device to disrupt police communications is more than just a nuisance. It's obstruction of justice. And while the defendant's inside the house, he's also preventing the officers from communicating. With stolen jewelry worth $500,000 involved, the stakes couldn't be higher.
misdemeanor interference case. So it appears to me that the cases were filed on February 9th. It looks like you were given a general order bond on that day. We appointed you a lawyer on the 14th. So it's been a little less than a month. What happened in this case? Because I have no idea.
I was going to say that. Thinking about it since we're here and everything, can we hear PC? Because I think there's a good argument, at least, that I can come up with.
On February 8th, 2025, the officer was dispatched to a resident regarding a burglary alarm activated. The officer observed an unknown male wearing a black hoodie in the backyard of the residence, and the dispatch advised the resident was not home. The officer observed the male jump the back fence, and K-9 arrived and advised that forced entry had been made through the back door with shattered glass door. The upstairs of the residence appeared rummaged through, and officers located property later confirmed to be stolen from the residence, as well as a black hoodie, a black backpack, and a pair of pants. The K-9 located the defendant hiding, and the defendant admitted to being inside the residence during the time of the burglary, but would not provide further information. The complainant stated approximately $500,000 worth of jewelry was stolen, and a radio frequency device, jamming device, was located inside the black.
Here's the thing. The suspect wasn't caught with the backpack. It was found at the front of the house. So, was he the only one involved? Or is there someone else at play? The reports are unclear on whether he was directly linked to the jamming device. If you were in the officer's shoes and your tech was failing during a bust, how would you feel? Let me know in the comments. Could this hinge on him turning the jammer on?
Backpack, and it was
I remember
that
this.
the officers within the vicinity were unable to use body-worn camera.
This was on, I think, was this on the, because of that radio jamming device, it was
Yes, Judge, the interference is based on the jamming device.
the interference with the emergency request for assistance is based on the jamming device that he has. Interesting.
Yes, that's what using the frequency jamming device to prevent communications between officers.
So it says here, February 8th, did then and there unlawfully, recklessly render unusable an electronic communications device that would otherwise have been used by Officer or by El Lejeune to request assistance in an emergency, namely burglary of a habitation, and said request for assistance would have been made to law enforcement agency, namely West University Police Department, with using a radio frequency jamming device to prevent communication between officers. In this case, the device was actually used to disrupt communication, was it not?
The officer said that within the vicinity, they were unable to use body cams, key fobs, or unable to transmit information through the radio.
Got it. And we know, or I guess you're saying that he had the device on him.
It was in the black backpack that they found, that officers found, and they initially saw the male wearing the black backpack.
Mayor Judge, so two things. I don't know about the wearing the backpack part. I know they found the device in the backpack. My recollection might be off, but I don't think he had it on him. I don't think.
Well, he's got care, custody, control because it's right next to him.
That's the thing. I don't know where they found that. They said he was hiding, but I'm not sure where they found that backpack, first of all. Secondly, the way they figured out, hey, this is a jamming device, is because they turned it on from the backpack and they were close to it. Hey, all of a sudden my stuff's not working. Come here. Hey, we're close to it. It's not working. So this was after the fact that they figured out it's a jamming device. They didn't say, hey, jam this, we have this problem. They started playing with it and
They
they
said he did.
no, that's the problem. He did not. They played with it. That's how they found out it's a jamming device. They turned it on, which comes up to.
Yes, they may have done that at that time, but also in the search, when they're looking,
During the active investigation, it was seen that their body worn cameras and their ability to unlock and lock police vehicles was affected during that active emergency investigation.
And
they're saying it was used.
right, they come back and say, hey, did we have trouble with it? Yeah, we had some trouble. They're turning it on and that's how they figured it out. But
You should be able to see all that. Pull the records,
Right.
because if they have body cam
oh yeah.
and they're using it, it should show a
It
disruption.
doesn't show that he was the one that it was actually turned on. They didn't show.
I know that, but you're gonna see the actual, you should.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Disruption.
yeah.
I mean,
And he's not the only person that was involved in this allegedly. So saying that he's the one that turned it on is gonna be an issue. There was somebody else that was seen that they're not mentioning. So did he turn it on? Did the other person turn it on?
I mean, this news,
He's being charged.
is there someone else that was
Please look at the
there?
report, because I'm not just making this up.
And I'm not saying you're making it up, I'm just saying you did, it doesn't say that.
Which calls into question, why isn't it in the DIMS?
We have an OR.
Does this say whether they were able to recover the $500,000?
They recovered it all, Judge.
They did?
The OR does say that Mr. Contreras admitted being inside the house with another unknown male and provided additional suspect information. But
No other male was on the scene.
they only found Mr. Contreras hiding at a property down a couple of blocks, I believe, from the canine officers found him hiding.
But the backpack is with him.
Yes. Well, the backpack was found,
At the front, let's see, it was found at the front of the residence located on Westchester Avenue, as well as see where they found him.
Versus with him. Big distinction. And the second person I'm talking about was supposedly seen on the surveillance video. So there's a mention of the surveillance video showing two people walking.
So to be clear, Your Honor, the property, including the backpack with the frequency jammer, was found on Westchester Avenue. Mr. Contreras was found hidden underneath bushes at a residence on Rutgers Avenue. So it wasn't with him when they found it.
Versus what they initially said. Now we're getting more details.
How do you link him to the one who's using the device?
so the way that we would link him is that he was seen wearing the black hoodie, the black pants, and then later the same clothing along with the backpack with the jamming device inside of it, those are all found together.
You say that was he wearing the backpack?
Initially, in the DIMS, it does not say that he's seen wearing the backpack, but his other clothing was found with the
Because
backpack.
the DM says he was wearing the black hoodie and as she mentioned, the clothing, and jumping over the fence, they observed a male wearing the black hoodie and they found that hoodie along with the backpack. And they terminated their search after an extensive search through the mail, so they're unable to locate anyone else within the perimeter that they searched.
There is surveillance with the second person there?
Yes. It says
How do we
so
know
on
that the other
report.
person didn't use it? I mean, I get it that all of it's together. We don't know who put that there. How do we know the other person didn't put it there? I know that he's wearing it, but
And Judge, this other case is still pending. This isn't handling the burglary.
I don't care about the Berghab. My concern.
Intro now. The big question, can they prove he's the one behind the jamming device? There's still a lot of uncertainty, especially with surveillance footage showing another person. The hearing's been delayed, and they've given the defense a day to dig deeper. So, will they crack the case or will it fall apart? Stay tuned. This one's not over yet.
Is that, I mean, how do we link him to operation of the device? Why don't we do this? Why don't we have a full-blown hearing,
Yes.
look through, go through everything. You go through everything. We can have it tomorrow. See what you can,
I think that's the correct decision, so we can have time, both of us.
I'm not opposed to finding no PC, right? I want to know if you can truly link them or not. I'll give you a day, come back tomorrow and see what else you have. If you have nothing else, then we'll go from there. Sure.
Full-blown hearing for PC. They could always
Look, please give everything that you have access to, give it to counsel so he can take a look as well. You can take a look at any kind of videos, take a look and we'll see. I mean, all we have now is that he's wearing a hoodie, he's wearing pants.
Then they found the clothing with the back.
Judge, they could always refile this. They don't have to dismiss it. They could always refile. Even if
You're springing it, I mean,
not springing it, this is no fair.
I'm gonna give them a day.
Okay.
I mean, he's not going anywhere anyways.
Okay, fair enough.
Let the Berghab upstairs, he's stuck here regardless, so. I want to make a decision, so.
Fair enough, Judge, fair enough. Is there a certain time you want the hearing?
Whenever you want.
Okay, sounds good. Appreciate it, Judge. Thank you.